So in this demo I'm going to show you how okPushy is being used. Pushy is a little tool for the mouse, a context similar to move and scale and rotate. It basically moves things, but in perspective camera view. Now, to show you the reason why I developed this, so here for example I have a camera match move. The camera is already matched, and what I want to do is I want to build certain geometries so it can, a creature that might climb over this building here, this church, cast a shadow on things. So I already made a model here. Let me unhide this. Here it is. It currently sits in origin, and as you can see it matches, but it is not lined up to the actual church. So what to do? Well, you can move it around and then use rotate and then maybe scale it until it looks alright, and it seems like it matches somewhat, but then when you scrub through the timeline you see it doesn't. So it matches in one frame, in the first frame, but absolutely not in the last one. So how do we fix this? Well, we could of course fix it by moving it here now, and then go back and then move it again here a little bit and then go back, and oh no. So this is like an endless back and forth, and eventually of course, because the arrow gets smaller and smaller, you will eventually get there, of course, right? And this is what a lot of people do these days. That's why the process of set modeling based on a match move takes forever. So here's my approach to this. First, I want a copy of this camera so that I can see this frame and that frame at the same time. So I wrote another script. It's called okFreezeFrame. I'm firing this off by basically just pressing Ctrl-Alt-Z. This is the shortcut I chose, and it creates a copy of that camera that is not animated anymore. So I see this. I'm not a fan of floating windows, at least not in a demo, because I can of course move this to another monitor, but for the demo I just switched to my 4 viewport mode. So I close this and get this new camera, which is frozen cam, in here. And as you can see, this is the animated camera and this is the frozen camera. Now both look at this object. So what would I do? First, I align this in this camera view. Let's scale and move until it looks just right. Get a little bit bigger. Okay, that doesn't take too long. And now I look at this camera and that camera at the same time, and I use the okPushy with scale compensation. So there's two ways of using okPushy. One is when you have the translate tool active and you press down Z, then it moves in camera perspective, but it keeps its size. So it becomes smaller, of course, when it moves further away, but it's already the right size. So the other method is to go into the scale tool first and then use okPushy. Now you can see it stays the same size in the camera viewport. I'm using the tool because while it's moving away and closer to the camera, it's also scaling at the same time. So all I have to do is basically line it up to the viewport down there. Now, because my screen recording is rather small, that's a bit tough to do, but usually I would use 2 monitors and then both of them are full screen size, so not a problem. But here you go. And if I scrub through the timeline now, it's in the right place. Simple as that. Now this tool of course works also on points and faces and edges, so I can select points, move them around, and then let's say I move them a bit in all kind of axis. So now everything is broken, as you can see. So I would basically just move this point in my viewport here, and then I look at this viewport while using Pushy up here until the point ends up matching with this viewport as well. And here you have it. And that's basically, you can model everything in this scene, even terrain, as long as you have some sort of parallax, and you can see that in multiple cameras, the different perspective, then you should be able to model everything. Let me make the tower quickly here, just a cylinder, not too much time wasted here, so I'm just creating this cylinder. Again, I'm just basically scaling and moving it so it matches with one of the viewports, but as you can see already, it's not matching at all with the other viewport. So all I have to do is go to scale mode, use okPushy, and then I move it until it lines up with that viewport as well. And there you have it, immediately matching. So this is one of the things that you can do with okPushy. There's another one which could be useful for animators. So let me load a character quickly. I pause the video. So here we have a character, and in character animation I often have the situation where I use IK control, and I just basically want to put this hand here on the hip. Now this is my camera view from my camera match move, let's say, and usually an animator would have to work with multiple viewports, right? Or orbit around in the scene to check if the animation works. So for example, this hand needs to go on the hip, so now I have to go to this viewport or turn around and put the hand in position like so, and then maybe zoom in a bit, and there. Okay, now the hand is on the hip. So I had a bit of do a bit of an orbiting, and of course you should not orbit in your match moved camera. That one should be locked, so that means you have to work with multiple cameras. So my approach to this, let me undo this, would be I just basically get the hand to where I want it. So here's my IK controller, and again use just Pushy to move the hand until it's there. Maybe change the orientation a little bit here, like so. And I can use okPushy to basically get it just there, and there you go. So I'm using this especially for roto animation, because what's very common is that you get a pose where you see the hand in a specific pose, but the elbow just doesn't match up, right? And the reason for that might be because your hand might not be in the right depth. It lines up into D, but the elbow is just not right. Even though the shoulder is in the right spot, the hand is in the right spot, the elbow is not. And that might be the depth. And here you go. See how moving just a little bit in depth is changing the position of the elbow. So that's how you get roto animation very precise, like out of the box, just using this little tool. Okay, let's have a look how to install this. So I copied my script into a folder, which is f GitHub okPushy. So just remember that, because this is a path that matters. So this is the script, by the way, okPushy2.py. There's also the OK freeze frame, by the way. And so basically what you do is you go to the preferences, Windows, settings preferences, hotkey editor, And then in here you can go to the custom scripts if you want to. I think it creates that folder anyway. And then you can say, I create a new runtime. You choose the language. You should go for Python. And that script that needs to go in here for the press command is actually inside of the script itself. So if I open this up quickly, so here is my script in my preferred script editor, VS Code. So this is the script itself, and up here you see copy this to your hotkey press event Python, and copy this to your hotkey release event Python. So you basically just copy this thing as is, paste it in here, change the path if you need to. In my case it's actually correct, and that's it. Save it. Maybe give it a name. I call it blub press, just so it doesn't conflict with the existing scripts here. You can give it a good description and whatnot. Save. Okay, and here it is, blub press. You give it a letter, and then you need to be careful. Maybe I just replace my press up here, set, okay, and make sure it's on press. So it's this little triangle here, on press. Then make another one, get the other script, which is this one here, copy, paste, call it blub release, and save runtime. Yes. Set that to on release and set. Okay. And with that set up, so this is still on press, this is still on release, save and close, and this will work. Okay.